Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon from my side as well. I have to apologize in advance if I don't perform great because I've been traveling for the past 2 weeks from US to Far East, and I landed in Abu Dhabi last night at 2 a.m. So I'm between jet lag and lack of sleep, but I'll do my best. Some things from our side before we go to the topic. Most of you know IRI, International Registries, is the company that runs the Marshall Islands flag with tremendous experience on running ship registries because the company was established in 1948. We have more than 75 years of experience, and as you can see from the next slide, we're very well placed all around the world with more than 28 offices in major maritime hubs, ports, and business areas around shipping. This is some briefing about our fleet. We recently surpassed 200 million tons, gross tons in our fleet, which is a tremendous milestone for a company like us. And as you know, as you can see from the number of the ships, we have exceeded 5,700 ships lately. Another milestone, which is out of blue water shipping, of course, is that we exceeded 1,000 yachts, both commercial and private yachts as well. But the most important factor here is that we have the largest LNG fleet and gas fleet from all around the world, and we have the majority of the new building contracts coming on the water in the next 5 years on the LNG sector. That shows that we're moving ahead in the transition period towards decarbonization. And why we have all these LNGs, I think partly is because of the service and the reputation. And also we have developed a very strong LNG team inside our organization with technical experts, people that have been on the LNG business for more than 20, 30 years. And they know how to provide a good service, they know how to provide a good technical advice and consultation to our clients, and of course the industry in general. Since the topic of our panel now is how the industry can innovate, and the registries also how they can innovate and look ahead in the future, I think the business model of a modern progressive registry today is much more different than what it was years ago. Flag states in the past would rely a lot, if not 100%, to the excellent work that the class societies are doing, since we recognize them as recognized organizations acting on our behalf. And we have a tremendous, excellent cooperation with class societies. But today, the relationship between both organizations have stepped up into a different level. We team up with them. We work very closely with them. The word collaboration was used in the previous panel, and collaboration between flag states and class societies can help our owners and the industry in general to improve safety, have ships more environmentally friendly, and have the proper conditions both on board and in the companies ashore. So the modern flag states are more hands-on. They're more involved in things. They have a more dynamic role in our industry. Of course, we have to work closely with port-state controls as well, and we live in a different world today. Everything is more transparent. You will see another slide about rankings of flag states. All of us have to be very cautious in whatever we do every day when it comes to safety and compliance. It is really important to develop good relationships with port-state control, understand how we work, and of course make sure that the ships comply with international and national regulations. One thing I didn't mention about our fleet is that we have the youngest fleet right now in the world. I think it's, if we exclude the yachts and the offshore units, rigs and PSVs, I think we have like an average of less than 10 years old right now, and it's one of the greenest fleet around the world. How we can achieve such a good sustainable growth? There are certain ways, but I think the best way is to know your customer, know the people that you are dealing with, the clients that you select, and the ships that you select to have in the flag. The vessels vetting, as we call us, it helps us to make sure that we get the proper tonnage, the quality tonnage, even modern tonnage in the flag, and of course have a process when the ship is in the flag to ensure that we provide the proper technical support to make sure the ship is safe, and also a very good inspection program throughout the years of the ship in the flag, just to make sure that the ship complies with all safety parameters, all the international conventions that we have ratified, and of course, any additional national requirements of the flag. This is the slide that I was referring to, the qual ship. I mean, everybody can say in the world that we have quality, we're good, you know, we have standards, that's fine, but unfortunately or fortunately, all of us in this industry are recognized and there are the different scorecards and rankings around the world, and one of that is the port state control, at least for the flag stage. I mean, we're whitelisted in Paris and Tokyo MOU. We try to improve our position when it comes to detentions versus inspections, and we maintain the US Coast Guard Qual Ship 21, which is a very difficult award and certificate in the United States, and we maintain that certificate for 20 consecutive years, which means that we have a very, very low detention ratio in the United States, and that's a proof that the flag has a modern, young, and green fleet. Another topic that the first panel touched upon was the complexity of regulations, and I fully agree with that. I think we have a complex regulatory environment with different bodies, different countries, EU, IMO, other countries that act unilaterally, and most of the owners are a little bit confused of what's happening today, what's going to happen tomorrow, who is regulating and how. I think we need a more pragmatic, more like a practical approach. Make sure, of course, that first of all the ships are safe, because this is, and of course the environment are safe, because we all live within society and we have to be careful. And I think the topic of this conference is climate change and innovation and the roadmap to decarbonization. But we have to regulate carefully. And one of the things that we did for the past 10, 15 years in the registries, we developed a very good team to attend the IMO. We don't have people that go there that they don't know anything about shipping. We have people that have been on ships. We have technical experts and the engineers, naval architects, people with experience both on ship and ashore. And of course, the other thing we're trying to do is we develop a dialogue with our clients, managers, owners, shipyards, stakeholders in the industry, because we have to get their views, we have to get their feedback and their approach before we regulate, before we give our final position in the IMO. I was talking to our head of the IMO a few weeks ago, and what he told me is that the MEPC, as you can imagine, which is the Marine Environment Protection Committee in the IMO, it's the most busiest committee right now in the organization. They have hundreds of papers to be reviewed and produced, and as you can understand, towards 2050, MEPC will be the hot topic of the organization for the upcoming years. And we need to make sure we have the right people, and we need to make sure we listen to what the industry wants. I'm not going to bother you too much with this slide. The reason I'm having this there is because, again, talking about the IMO, whatever comes to alternatives, including fuels, IMO has given some guidelines to this particular circular. So there are ways to move ahead. We need to work closely with shipyards, class societies, and of course the owners, in whatever we call an alternative. We have to make sure we agree what the process is going to be, and finally we have to test it to hazard identification, make sure that we do a proper risk assessment, and whatever is agreed, we have to document it, because that's going to show what's going to happen in the future, and that will help us to regulate properly when we have to. And a little bit of our involvement on helping our owners. We have a dozen or more of our ships now, because we don't keep track of everything every day. And I think it's, as we speak, more ships get into that they have trials on biofuels. So far, from the majority of the ships that we have heard of and the owners that we talk to, it works. And so we have given acknowledgement to this. We're following up on this and try to make sure what's happening. And some other projects is rotors and generally wind-assisted propulsion systems that we measure it. We get feedback from some of our ships that they have used it. We have a number of JDBs. We have some contracts for liquefied CO2 carriers that we work with the shipyards and the class societies to make happen. And generally, we try to follow up on every new idea in advance through the class societies and, of course, the owners with joint development projects, even if it has to do with ammonia or methanol or anything else. So as a conclusion, I think the industry has to be, one of the questions that was raised in the morning is like, if we're going to be ready in 2050, there was a consensus in the panel that we're going to be ready. I agree that we have to be ready anyway. And, but the number that I'm showing you on the first paragraph is that more than 50% of the ships on the order book now, they will be capable of dual fuel. Either will be dual fuel or dual fuel ready. And that shows something that things are progressing probably quicker than we expect. So closing remarks is that since that's happening, we all of us have to stay together. We have to collaborate. We have to make sure that from the flag state point of view that we have the resources in place. We need to have the infrastructure, and we have to be able to innovate into a greener shipping together with all of our stakeholders. That's all from my side. Thank you very much.